the Keystone Sports Network.
Hello and welcome to this Keystone Kickoff Show. I am Jim Galante along with our very special guest, Char Morett Curtis. Char is the recently retired Penn State field hockey coach. Welcome to the show, Char.
Jim, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to talk about Teammates for Life.
Well, I am too, but before we do, I just need to introduce you to our audience, let them know what you're all about. You were an All-American player at Penn State. You were an Olympian as a player. You then returned to coach Penn State, 6 Final Fours, 9 conference championships. You know what, Char? I could spend this entire segment with just accolades from your playing and coaching career. But as you mentioned, we have you here to talk about Teammates for Life. This is a new initiative started by Penn State. Could you tell our listeners all about it?
Yeah, Jim, I'm so excited to be a part of this Teammates for Life initiative. When I retired back in February, I went to Pat Kraft and, wanted to let him know that I was ready to hang up my coaching hat, but I didn't want to be done with Penn State. So, he relented a little bit on the coaching side, but said, you know what, Shar, that's great. I want you to come work for me. And I said, Pat, I know exactly what I want to do. And he said, what's that? I said, I want to start a women's athletics initiative. And I feel that this has been done in other universities, and it's time for us to be starting one now. So he said, Char, sounds great. It's in your hands. So I was able to put together, a committee. It has women that have expertise and skills in so many different areas. And we just dug down and started back in March. And 6 months later, we were able to launch our initiative at the end of August. So there is a site, there's a site on the Penn State website that people can go to and see. But so far, it's just been everything positive.
And just to give a reminder to our listeners where you could go on the website, it's gopsusports.com. Go to the athletics tab, and you will see Teammates for Life. Tell us a little bit about what are the goals for this initiative, Char?
So, you know what, Jim? I really looked at how we can leverage our alumni base. We have the best alumni, base in the entire world. And, the men have always done a great job connecting with each other, after colleges. And I just feel that we need to tap into not just our female athlete alums, but also all our female alums from Penn State they've accomplished so much. So really what we want to do is we want to engage our student athletes with each other while they're here on campus, so they get to know each other after they graduate. So we want to do it horizontally, get them networking together. Then we want to reach out vertically to our alumni base and our female athletic alumni base and talk about how we can bring these student athletes to your corporations, to your businesses, to your expertise. We know that Penn Staters are everywhere and everything. They're doctors, they're lawyers, they're surgeons, they're now CEOs. So we want to really make sure that we can connect our current student athletes with our alumni base to help them with their career development and their career path, and just build a community. We are looking to build a community of Penn State women that can help each other, women helping each other. That's really what this is all about, is building relationships while they're at Penn State and beyond.
And it sounds like a big part of this are the alumni, the female alumni from Penn State, many of them former athletes at Penn State. What's been the response from that group, the women who have graduated from Penn State and who are out in the working world right now? How have they responded to this?
Resounding, how can I help? How can I help? I want in. You know what we did? My first thought was we have to let the women on campus and in our own community know what we're about to build. So that's all about building the relationships. So May 24th, we had an event on campus. We sent an invite out to our campus women leaders, our community female leaders, and we said, hey, come take a look at the sneak peek of what we're looking to build in the next coming months. It's going to be long lasting. And so, like I said, we invited these women. We had 90 women show up at Beaver Stadium,
Wow.
and just let them know, hey, we're all about engaging women, elevating our student athletes, and connecting them. And then we just went through, the different ways we're going to do this, with career development opportunities, with bringing top speakers onto campus, with starting a mentorship program, with philanthropy. And when we had those 90 women that night, everybody signed up. They want to help in any way possible, even if it's just going to a game and supporting the women's soccer team, women's volleyball, whatever it may be. And so we've had just an amazing, I would say, enthusiastic group of women that want to jump on board. Sue Paterno was there. The next day she called me right away and she said, you know what, I want to help sponsor this. I'm going to write you a check. And so when you have a woman with Sue Paterno's presence and you see her support in so many other areas of our Penn State community, it's a very powerful statement. So we've got some women that are, really heading this initiative. Susan Robinson is helping us, Elizabeth King, Lee Beard. Elizabeth was head of HR with Starbucks out in Seattle. She's a former softball player. Susan Robinson, we know, is a, prominent women's basketball player, won the Naismith Award, is like the top female basketball player in the country. Mary Beth Schmidt oversees really a lot of our branding, broad content development, and she's a Penn Stater, worked with Graham on his book. So we've got women with a lot of skills. Mara Pilowitz is another one. Her two sons played sports here, ice hockey and baseball. So we have a small committee, but the outreach has been amazing.
Well, when you're going into the pool of Penn State alumni, that's a pretty big pool that you're going into and a lot of opportunities. So tell me, have you already had some events? Have you had speakers? Have you had some of these alumni interact already with some of the current student athletes?
We haven't been able to do that yet. The first thing we did was the event that I talked about in the spring, getting the the leaders from campus and the community. Then this summer, we got the student athletes that were on campus. A lot of them were freshmen that had come in to start, their careers here. And we talked to them about what we wanted to start and how we wanted them to be involved. On November 10th, we are going to have a luncheon, and we're going to have Jamie Perot come in. She's a hedge fund manager in New York City. She was a former lacrosse player, and she and Jen Farang are going to be running our mentoring program. So they'll be speaking at that luncheon. We also have Jen Burtis, who is a former women's volleyball player. She was on American Ninja Warriors for 2 years.
Oh,
She is
wow.
just star. Yes. So she is going to come in and work with our student athletes, do a mindfulness and almost like a regeneration exercise with them on Thursday night, the November 9th. And then she's going to do it with our community leaders on November 10th. And then we're going to go to the luncheon. So that's the first big speaker series that we have coming up.
Wow, that is fantastic. Now, on the receiving end of this mentoring, it is the undergraduate students, the female athletes. How have they responded to this, and have they given you their thoughts, their ideas of this is how I can be helped with this?
I think they were so inspired when we met with them in the summer. We had Carolyn Keeger and Erica Dombach get up in front of them and talk to them about how important this is going to be for them while they're here on campus, and how more important it's going to be for them after they graduate. We want to start connecting with women where we can get our student athletes to do internships with them, spend a day in New York City. We had a woman, Erin I'm going to mess up her name, and her name, Olachek. We met her in New York City. She spent 9 years running NBC Sports in Stamford, Connecticut. And she said to myself and Mary Beth, I want to bring your student athletes and even the students from College of Communications to our studios and show them around, show them how we all network within NBC, and hopefully inspire them to want to be a part of that. So, we really want to hit home with our current student athletes to make them understand, hey, this is a program that they're going to want to be involved with as a student athlete now, and then embrace it again once they graduate. So they may be a mentoree today and a mentor tomorrow.
A kind of complete the cycle, right? Now,
Yeah.
Shar, why is this so important to you? Now, you spent a lot of time at Penn State as a student athlete. You came back as a very successful coach. We realize that. You talked about telling Pat Kraft this is what you really wanted to do. Why was it so important to you?
You know what, Jim? I've been so blessed. I tell the story that, I was sixth in line of a family of seven, five brothers and a sister, and none of them before me had gone to college. And Penn State was able to offer me a scholarship coming into school my freshman year. I'm not so sure that I would have been able to afford that, in 1975. So just then the way Penn State, my coach, Jillian Rattray, mentored me and women like Ellen Perry and Della Durant and Marty Adams, those women mentored me as a female student athlete back in the mid 70s. Title IX had really just been enacted, but no one was really twisting anybody's arms, with that. Fortunately, Penn State had the vision. They really, went right to the top and said, we're going to support our female student athletes with scholarship money, with facilities, with equipment, with coaching. So kudos to Penn State for having that early vision. So now for me, I want to give back. I want to be able to do for our current student athletes, our coaches, our alumni base, what was given to me. I'm so honored and humbled that I had this opportunity to come to Penn State, first of all, as a student athlete, second of all, as a coach, and now to come back and lead a program where we're going to continue to foster opportunities and develop them, elevate, engage our student athletes after graduation. You know, I'm so blessed that I retired. I left something that I loved and was so passionate about, and it wasn't easy, but it became easier because I knew that I was going to segue into something that I love and that I'm so passionate about. So I don't feel as if I've ever stopped working one bit. This has been fun for me.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right. And just the half minute or so that we have left, tell our listeners if someone from the public, a Penn State alum, wants to get involved, wants to support the program, how can they get involved?
They're with our mentoring program, with our speaker series that we're going to have, just helping support tailgates at away games and just getting them to cheer on our student athletes while they're here. They can either find me on cxm12 at psu.edu, go to the website. I'm sure they can connect with us there. There is a link there that they can email there's an email there where they can send responses in. But our arms are wide open to everyone.
Very good. We will make sure from our standpoint from Keystone Sports Network, we'll put out some of that information with the Twitter handle is where they could find you on the Go PSU Sports website also. Char, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, Jim. It's been fun.
Keystone Sports Network.